What's up, guys? AverageKiwiGuy here. How y'all doing? So the World of Warcraft panel's finished up, and all the tidbits and stuff that they gave us, which was super cool. Like, they gave us basically not the next patch, but the following patch, and a little bit of the next patch as well, which is kind of cool. Um, but I guess first up, we gotta talk about Tides of Vengeance. That's the one coming up. It's coming out December 11th, which is pretty reasonably soon. Like, it's a little ways away. I thought it'd be a little closer. I thought it would be in November. A little part of me kind of hoped like it would be like releasing next Tuesday. Well, like patch days on Tuesday for me. Wednesday morning, I should say, for me, New Zealand time. But unfortunately, no, December 11th. So they talked about a lot of it. A lot of it we knew. We knew a lot about this this patch because of the Q&A that was about a month ago. They released like a lot of stuff about it. You know, they went into the raid, they went into like the Warfronts, the assaults and stuff. They were talking about in this thing they basically repeated what it felt like. And even like some of the slides look kind of the same. They really did. So, you know, that part of the panel wasn't, you know, anything, you know, surprising to me. You know, like basically, you know, Darkshore Warfront. We did get a trailer for that, it's just kind of cool. It was you know, Tearin and Malfurion is sort of about the Night Elves coming back in to try and take the Darkshore and stuff, and you know, the Horde sort of having to hold its ground there. So that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool to see some of the weapons and stuff that come out of that. It'd be interesting to see how that Warfront goes. That's gonna be the big thing, because like the current Warfront and stuff is kind of like it's basic. It has no real challenge to it. They are addressing that, but in a future patch, they are going to add some difficulty to the Warfronts, which is something kind of cool. But yeah, hopefully this Darkshore Warfront would kind of help out with that a little bit more. I'm hoping. You know, then they went on about the assaults, which is basically the invasions. You know, like the Legion invasions and stuff. I mean, they were okay. Like, you did it. It was a daily thing. You went around, you did it, and like some of it was a weekly quest and stuff. You just went around, you did it. It was just part of the drill. Like, and I imagine that's what will happen with this one. Like, you go along. You know, it's just gonna be your typical thing you do. So we'll see what happens on that one. New island expeditions. I've never really been into island expeditions all that much. So yeah, that was it's all the same stuff that we saw. Like, they even went in about the raid, Battle for Dazzlor. Like, it's you know, we knew what was going to happen. Like, they, with the Q&A and stuff, how they explained how the Alliance and the Horde are going to have different bosses to deal with. I think like 3 different bosses to deal with to each other. So it's definitely interesting there. And then obviously the stories continue, the heritage armor, and like the system improvements. I was kind of hoping maybe for a little more information on that, but obviously, like, we'll get more stuff on like Wowhead and stuff like that, Icy Veins and all that when they break it all down from the PTR and stuff. It's that's stuff you can get elsewhere, but yeah, it's good to see, like, you know, that they obviously, you know, they've got a lot of stuff coming in this next patch. It will definitely bring me back into WoW, because I have to take my breaks from WoW here and there just to, you know, keep it fresh, keep it, you know, or else I get burnt out way too quick. So I gotta, you know, sort of pace myself in places. So I'm on a bit of a break at the moment, but December 11th, you know, probably a week before that, I'll probably jump back in and get going again, and then get ready for the new one. But yeah, no, it looks very cool. Hopefully, yeah, like I'm very wary of that Warfront be interesting to see how they play that out. So yeah, December 11th. So that's at least they gave us a time on that. Then the more interesting stuff from the panel sort of came in. Like this was the more future stuff. So 8.15, that is when they're going to release the Tearin, the Tearins and the Zandalari allied races. I kind of wish it was 8.1, like the end of 8.1, like you finish the quest lines for 8.1 and that's when you get it. But no, it's 8.15, which is a bit of a pain. You know, they're showing off the cool druid transformations and stuff for both of them. Like, I kind of want my Zandalari troll, man. But, no, that's not coming until the next, not this next patch, but the following patch, which is a little bit of a shame. But 8.1.5, seems to be like, you know, the big thing will be releasing those allied races. And then the rest of it's looks like just some small update stuff. Darkmoon Fear is getting a roller coaster. Okay. Definitely be jumping on that just to have a go. They're gonna do some patches on some holidays and some micro holidays and stuff. Children's Week's gonna add in the Zandalari kids, the Tearin stuff. The micro holidays are gonna tweak some of that stuff just to sort of give it a bit of a fresh sort of go. Some like free T-shirt day and stuff. Okay. Time Walking is gonna go to Warlords of Draenor, so that was always gonna be happening. Portal rooms. This was something that I was like, that's a good quality of life thing. Because that's always been the problem with a little bit with WoW, is that the portals are everywhere. You know, like you got, you know, the portal to Hydril over there, you got the portal to freaking Legion, Dalaran over here, you got the portal to Hellfire Peninsula over here. Like there's a ton of different places that are going to create a room with this, with all the portals in it, all in one place, all in a central location, and they've made it big enough to add into as time goes on. So honestly, I think it's something that they've needed to do for a while now. This is like a bit of a spring cleaning thing. So that was an interesting like thing to put in there. Another interesting thing is that they are adding in new quests for professions, and you actually when you complete those quest lines, you get a unique profession specific epic item. So like it's just like a blacksmith gets a hammer which can like repair their own gear and has a chance to like make their gear better. Like I think it's like has a chance to the crafted gear they make to be indestructible. I know like scribes and stuff, Inscription, they get a quill that can suck the blood from fallen enemies around them and heal you. And I'm guessing some other passives on it as well. That's kind of cool. That makes you kind of want to go out and do the profession stuff. And obviously I think they're going to add in new recipes and stuff like that too. So I like that. I do. I like that a lot. And then a whole bunch of other stuff like Brawlers Guild. They're remastering some PvP maps. And also they're adding in AI battlegrounds stuff. I think because of the AI they've been working on for the island expeditions, they were like, well, maybe we can just do AI PvP matches as well. So that's the thing. I don't know. Just what something else, I guess. I'm not a big PvPer. I don't like it. It's just not my thing in MMOs. So that's not for me. But that's your stuff. Cool. Then they went on to 8.2. 8.2 looks very, very cool. It looks like a very big patch. Very, very big patch. This one, Rise of Azhara. This is when Azhara comes into things, which is very cool. So the Naga is going to sort of strike at everyone because of the sort of devastation after the Tides of Vengeance and stuff, and all the resources that got put into like us. Well, I'm the Horde, so us defending Zandalar, and then the Tearins and the Alliance attacking Zandalar. Like everyone's kind of a bit fractured, and Azhara comes in and tries to attack, which is I felt was kind of cool. But that, you know, of course, everyone rallies together, and of course, we're going to go after Azhara and sort of go to where the heart of all these Naga are attacking from. And they find basically the Naga homeland, which is kind of cool. So Nazjatar is this the new area we're gonna get, and we actually get 2 new areas in this patch. So Nazjatar, I think, is gonna be the bigger one of the 2. This is the one that has, you know, the story quests about fighting Azhar and we're also gonna get her raid as well, which is pretty cool, where she will be the final boss. Apparently 8 bosses. One will be in like the Naga Hatchery, so we get to see like where baby Naga come from, and there's even a baby Naga pet that has a fork, like an actual just fork as a pitchfork, you know, as a trident. So that's kind of cool. And a potential underwater boss, because everyone loves fighting underwater. Yeah, like everyone was like, you know, even the guy sort of talking about it was like, yeah, we'll get your opinions on that one. So that's cool. And obviously Queen Azhara will be the final boss in that one. But everything I saw of Nazjatar looks super cool. Like, it, you know, that sort of exposed undersea coral forests and stuff like that. Like, it should be under the ocean, but it's not, and it's sort of up in the air and stuff. It does look very, very cool. It does look very, very cool. I like the look of it a lot. And I'm excited to get to see Azhara, like to get into that storyline and to finally confront her, you know, after all this time. It's pretty cool. Then we also get another zone, like I said. This is a gnome-based zone, like this sort of like because apparently in Kulturas there is a gnome that's trying to open a door or something, and apparently like that will lead into this new zone, Mechgon. It's like this mecha gnome type place. Like there's like mecha gnome actual like NPCs and stuff. I imagine they will end up becoming allied races for the Alliance at some stage. I mean, it's very gnome. It's very, you know, it's got the gears and stuff. It's got all that. It's very interesting. It looks interesting place. Basically, I think it's gonna have some story stuff that leads into a dungeon, but the dungeon's gonna be like Karazhan, the new Return to Karazhan. So it will be like a mega, they called it a mega dungeon. So it's like double the normal length. So it's like 8 bosses instead of 4. But you're only rocking in with a dungeon group. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really like my dungeons going too long. So I'm not a big fan of those mega dungeons. It's not usually my thing. But, I mean, it's people's opinions on that. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Return to Karazhan, like just because of the length of time it took. It will be mythic only, and it's probably going to be a little more harder than most dungeons leading up. But I mean, it looks like an interesting zone. It looks like an interesting zone that's adding something new into it. But yeah, I don't know about a mega dungeon. Like, I kind of like my dungeons to be quick and painless. You know, get them out of the way sometimes. It depends on who you're with. You know, like if you're rocking in with some guildies and you're having a good time, then yeah, it's fine. But if you're trying to pug it, it's like it's just not a great idea. Then they also talked about, like, you know, they're going to continue the story through Rise of Azhara, and they got kind of cryptic there for a little bit. They're like, you know, like they sort of said, like, pay close attention to the to sort of like the characters and stuff like that. So the first one they showed up was Sylvanas, and we're going to see Sylvanas' story a little more. I'm kind of hoping we see Sylvanas' story a little earlier than 8.2, because if she's not there in Tides of Vengeance, I would be very shocked. Because, like, she has been gone really since pre-patch. So, like, she burnt the tree, and she basically, you know, blighted Lordaeron and blighted the Undercity, and then she just disappeared. She's been gone. So, you know, it would be nice to see her involved in some things here. But I looked up on Wowhead, like, what they kind of meant, and apparently in the actual slide that shows Azhara and all the it has Saurfang, Anduin, and Jaina. Apparently, she has Zalalath, or whatever the hell it is. It's the blade of the Black Empire, and apparently it was the artifact weapon for the Shadow Priests. I never played a Shadow Priest, so I don't know. Like, if that's, I'm sure people who know better will tell me. But apparently this is like an old god weapon. This is an old god weapon. So she's rocking around with an old god weapon that has been fully, well, I don't know what they're like classing the artifacts are now. Like their power got all used up for, you know, just to basically negate Sargeras' sword. So I don't know what they're gonna sort of, what they're kind of talking about there. Like maybe, you know, Zalath. I'm sorry, I'm just pronouncing this completely wrong. Maybe it didn't fully pull its power in, and now Sylvanas has it now. And, you know, an old god weapon with her, and apparently, like, the data mining and stuff has found a model for Zalath as well. In the 8.1 patch data mining, like, there's some NPC entries and stuff for her. Like, it seems interesting that she is holding one, and like apparently, in a good war or something, she talks about an ulterior motive behind the Alliance and the Horde conflict, one that Elune and other forces would be opposed to. So, I mean, I don't want her. I don't want her to be corrupted by the old gods. I would like to see her using the old gods to get what she wants, because that's kind of what she is, like a little bit like Azhara is, with N'Zoth. Like, you know, she was like, I'm not going to be a slave to you. I will use your power. You will get kind of what you want, but I will be the leader. I will be the one who gets it, and who I will not be a slave to you. I'm kind of hoping Sylvanas is that way as well. But because I don't want her to be like Garrosh. I don't want to be like Garrosh 2.0. Like, it doesn't need to be that way. So, but everything's like building up for that confrontation between Sylvanas and Saurfang. So, and like after that, new cinematic as well. It's all kind of building up towards that. So I'd be a little disappointed if it takes to 8.2 to get that, but we'll see. We'll see on that one. And apparently Magna's going to come back in, and we're actually going to try and save the planet at some point. You know, like maybe he's going to come along and say, you know, all these, you know, all those world quests where people are using Azeroth to empower themselves. Like, maybe we should stop trying to do that ourselves or something, you know? Maybe, I don't know. There's also going to be some new heritage armor for Torrens. Torrens one looks amazing. It's like a big-ass tome. Looks a little bit like the High Mountain one. Looks a little bit like the High Mountain one, just a little more. Maybe a bit brighter. I do like it. I do like the look of it a lot. And a gnome one. So if you got a gnome, you're getting some heritage armor. So, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you got a gnome zone, for God's sake, coming. So everyone who complains that the gnomes don't get anything, you're getting an entire zone now. So calm the hell down. Some new island expeditions are coming. And then what I was kind of elaborating on, and then what I was also kind of referring to with the Warfront stuff, heroic Warfronts. So they're adding a difficulty level to it. You know, apparently you can queue up with 9 friends, better rewards, tougher commanders, tougher opponents, stuff like that. Like, you might actually have to think about it a little bit to actually win and stuff. So yeah, that looks kind of cool. And they are adding in flying at 8.2. So 8.2 will be where we are allowed to start flying around Kulturas and Zandalar, so that'd be kind of cool. I doubt we'll be able to fly around Nazjatar and stuff like that. I imagine that'll be like Argus and stuff. But yeah, they like showed off some new flying mounts. One was a mechanical parrot. One was the bee, the flying bee, which looks freaking cool. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be like the, you know, part 2 completion thing. Like, you get the bee. I would love that. I'd be a little annoyed if that is like the Alliance one and we get something else on the Horde, because I'll kind of want the bee. But I imagine we'll be able to get it some other way. So yeah, 8.2 looks awesome. 8.2 is kind of the one that I'm like, looks a lot cooler than 8.1. I mean, that it is kind of that way, because you kind of like 8.1 is kind of like, we got to start leading you towards the actual big bad, and then 8.2 is like the minion of the big bad, and then the final patch for the expansion is the big bad. So yeah, that's kind of understandable. And then they did reference some stuff for 8.25. They're going to put in some new models. New models for the Worgen. The Worgen is getting a new model, which looks kind of cool. And also goblins. Goblins are getting a new model rework. So yeah. But they gave no timetable on those. I imagine of like, they announced what 8.1 a couple months ago, so I imagine December. So I'd imagine like March or something like that. I'd figure, because they like to get like 8.1 sink in a little bit. Then 1.5 is going to come along. So 8.2, I'd imagine around March. But yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff. There's some cool stuff coming. I mean, I do think they got a little ways to go with Battle for Azeroth. Like, I personally like Battle for Azeroth. Like, I enjoyed my time with it. But I do see the problems with it as well. Mainly with the fact of what they built up at the start. Like, what they built up with us pre-patch. What they got us all excited for was this massive war between us and the Alliance. Like, that was it. And even, like, in all the freaking cinematics and stuff, like, even the most recent cinematic, you see evidence of a massive war going on, and we do not feel like we're part of it. Because we've been isolated off on these islands, trying to get these allies, which we still don't have yet, by the way, because we're not getting them to 1.15. It takes an entire like battle in Zandalar to get the Zandalari to help us and the Tearins to help us, whoever you're on. So it's going to be nice to start getting into that part of the war, even if the war is like meant for other things. It's still going to be cool to see. And I'm going to be excited to see my man Sarafang getting back involved again, and him sort of, starting to confront Sylvanas. I'm hoping we do not have to wait till 8.2 to start seeing what Sylvanas is actually doing, because it is frustrating that, the Alliance knows what their leader's doing. We have no idea what the hell our leader's doing. She's just sitting in Orgrimmar, just standing there. Like, you've seen what Anduin's doing and all the rest of it. And at least I've got Jaina leading the fight. We don't have any of those major characters pushing us forward. So it will be awesome to have Sarafang start stepping out in the front there. Because, I mean, Bane is kind of just chilling in in Zildazar and not really doing anything. And, I mean, I've enjoyed, the Zandalari, king and princess and stuff, and all that stuff, and integrating them into the Horde. But I miss my main guys. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. I'm excited for a lot of the stuff that's coming up. Obviously there was other stuff with Warcraft and all that, Classic and all that. They got a summer of 2019 release window, and also there's a beta going on. I'm going to be checking that out this weekend. My very limited opinion, because I have never played vanilla when it came out. I'm a WoW baby. I started WoW just before Legion came out. So I have no idea what Vanilla WoW was like. So it's going to be very interesting to go in and see that for the very first time and try and figure my way through some stuff and, I don't know, do some quests. And then obviously the Warcraft 3 stuff, I have a video out for that. Very excited for that. That was the highlight of the entire announcement stuff for me. Was the Warcraft 3 Reforged. Looks very, very cool and very promising. But yeah. No, it is. Future looks bright. Future looks bright for WoW. Like I'm excited for the future stuff. I mean, I think I'm more excited for the Azhara stuff. Shame it's not the most current patch, but I'm sure 8.1 will be fun. You know, especially with a new type of raid like that. I think it's gonna be cool. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to be over BlizzCon, so I've got a ton of stuff up on the channel. So if you are new here and you want to have a look around the channel, see what we got. Ton of BlizzCon stuff, ton of game stuff. It's everywhere. I've been a busy man today, getting all these videos up and done. So thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you for watching. If you watched them all, I appreciate that. And if you did like what you see, hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate that. Big thank you to everyone who's been sticking with me. I've been away for a little while, and it was a good time to come back. It was a good time. It was a heck of a day to start coming back. So it's got me back in the swing of it again. So thank you very much for sticking with me. And yeah. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.